Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are here to do another beauty blab, which is basically just my version of a favorites video. I don't necessarily have things to talk about every single month, so this sort of takes the pressure off for me. I just keep a list on my phone, and every time I, use a new product and I come to a conclusion of how I feel about it, then I put it into one of the categories, whether it's a favorite, something that's just okay, or something that I really don't like. If I've done a dedicated video on a certain product, if I review it, if I've done a first impression on it and then I do a review later, then I don't include those products in this video. So if you're wondering why I don't talk about a certain palette or something like that, it's just because I've done a separate video on it, and unless I really feel like I need to talk about it more, I'm not going to include it in one of these videos. So I actually have a lot of products to talk about today. I don't have anything in my dislike section, so I guess that's good. I have a couple things that are just okay, but I definitely have a lot of things to talk about, and I don't want these videos to get too long. They usually are fairly long, but I try to do this when it seems like I've got enough on my list. And considering the Sephora sale is actually still going on right now, although by the time I post this, maybe it will be over, I definitely am picking up some things during that sale. And so I need to kind of clear out my list so that I can start putting some of those things that I'm trying into my Beauty Blab list. So let's get started. Since I don't have anything that I dislike, why don't I talk about the things that are just okay, and then we'll go into the favorites. We'll kind of end it on a positive note here today. So the first thing is actually a skincare product, and this is the mini size, which I'm really glad that I got the mini size because it's just in my okay category. And this one went a little back and forth. I almost put it on my dislike section, but I'm gonna say that it's okay because I don't dislike it. But I don't love it either. So this is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Sleeping Mask. And this is the first thing that I've tried from the brand. I'm definitely gonna try more. This isn't making me not wanna try anything from them. I just feel like I probably haven't found the right thing yet. So this is a sleeping mask. And so you put this on, usually instead of a moisturizer at night, and you just leave it on and then you wash it off in the morning. And it's supposed to add a lot more hydration than maybe your normal moisturizer would, that kind of thing. Well, first of all, yes, the packaging is beautiful. It's very, very lovely. Even though it's a mini size, it's still beautiful packaging, but it's kind of a pain in the butt too. Like, it's this jar and you have to get your fingers all up in there, or you have to use some type of spatula. It's really not that easy to get into it. So while I think the packaging is really beautiful, it's not very functional. It's kind of annoying. It does have that beautiful watermelon scent, so that's really nice. It feels very cooling when it goes on. It's sort of like a gel. And so the reasons why I feel like this is just okay, first of all, I don't feel like I wake up in the morning and anything is that different from when I just kind of do my regular skincare. So that's number one. Number two, I have sometimes noticed that I've gotten some breakouts. It could just be a coincidence, but I don't get breakouts too often. I'm pretty lucky in that way. So I kind of feel like maybe this sometimes breaks me out, but I don't always break out when I use it, so it's hard to know. But the other thing is that I can only use this if I know I'm going to be washing my face and doing my skincare first thing in the morning. And the reason why is because it will sort of peel, it almost creates a film, and you have to wash it off. Otherwise, it'll look like you're peeling. And you may be wondering why I don't always wake up and wash my face and do my skincare. Well, part of the reason is that some days I am taking my daughter to school, and instead of waking up and washing my face and doing my skincare, I know that as soon as I take her to school, I'm gonna come home and do my workout and then shower and all of that. So I wait to do my skincare after I've showered after my workout. And so on those days, I don't wanna use this because then I'm going to take her to school and I might have peeling bits all over my face because I didn't wash this off yet. So that's kind of annoying. I have to, think about when I'm going to use this because I don't wanna use it on those days. I only wanna use it if I know that I'm going to be getting up and washing my face and all of that before I leave the house, because otherwise this might look a little bit crazy. So it's not horrible, and I think that it's a nice experience, but I'm definitely glad I got the mini size. I will say that if I had gotten the full size, I probably would have returned it just because it wouldn't have been worth my money. But because I got a mini, I figured, well, I'll just use it up and, I just won't repurchase it. So it's okay. I'm just gonna have to try more from the brand, that's all. And the other thing that is just okay is a foundation from the drugstore. This is the Revlon Candid Foundation, and I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't love this foundation. People have been really, really enjoying this. I think some people haven't really liked the concealer in this range, but people have been really loving this foundation. I think it's okay. There have been days where I've worn it where it looks terrible, like really, really dry. Like I cannot use this if I'm using like a pore filling primer that makes me a little more matte. This does not look good. It looks really dry. So I think that this looks the best on me when I use a more like luminous primer or just no primer at all. And I'll still get a little bit oily, but nothing too bad. But I also want to mention that this is kind of tricking you a little bit because, you know, for Revlon, it's a fairly inexpensive foundation. It's like around the $10 mark, which again, for Revlon is pretty inexpensive because Revlon can be up there in price, you know, for things at the drugstore. It can be a little bit pricey. And so you're like, oh, $10, that's not bad, especially if you're able to get like some type of deal, whether it's at CVS or, you know, whatever it is. You're like, oh, that's a pretty good price for that, right? Well, it has 0.75 fluid ounces in it. So it doesn't even have the full ounce that most foundations have. So they're bringing down the price a little bit, but they're also cheaping you out of some of the product. So just something to think about. I mean, I'm not that disappointed in that because I don't love this, but you're gonna go through it way quicker than you will something else. So just keep that in mind. Like I say, with all drugstore things, try to get, you know, some type of sale or use a coupon or get, you know, money back at CVS or Walgreens or wherever it is. Like try to do that when it comes to drugstore things, unless you really have to buy something, you know, at this point in time. Try to do that because there are always deals all the time and you can save money that way. But this one, yeah, it's just a little bit finicky and I just don't love it. I've been trying to mix it in with different things to see if I can make it work better that way, and I've liked it. And like I said, it's just okay. Like same thing with the L'Oreal Fresh Wear that people just are in love with. I'm just like, it's all right, it's fine. I mixed it with that one and that was pretty decent as well. It's just not one that I would repurchase. It's not like I can't use it. I will use it, but I don't love it. And I have plenty of other foundations that I love, even ones from the drugstore, although not as many these days. I think I hate to say this, but I think I might be kind of like taking a pause on trying foundations from the drugstore because, first of all, I never end up getting the right shade. I always get the wrong shade. I always have trouble with that. It's very frustrating. This one's like a little bit too pale on me. I can make it work, but it's a little too pale. Whereas the L'Oreal Fresh Wear one, that one's a little bit too dark for me. So maybe that will be better when I get a little bit more of a tan. But mixing those two, like I end up getting an okay shade. But that's frustrating, and I just haven't really been blown away by anything recently at the drugstore. Not since my CoverGirl Healthy Vitalist Elixir Foundation. That one I really love. But otherwise, and the CYO Life Proof Foundation, that one's really nice. But those are kind of my only two right now that I really like from the drugstore. I always really liked the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless one. I just haven't repurchased that one, partly because it doesn't have a pump, and that's just kind of annoying to me. But otherwise, my favorite foundations are higher end ones at the moment. So I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one, but I wasn't blown away by this one at all. So now let's talk about my favorites, and I do have quite a bit. So first of all, I want to talk about a couple brushes, and these are the only two brushes that I have by this brand, and that's because they're pricey. So I had to kind of take it slow, and I only started off with getting two, and I do want to get more of them for sure, but they're just pricey, so it's going to be a little bit before I get more of them. But they're the brushes by Sonia G, and they really are beautiful brushes. I like them pretty much as I like the Wayne Goss ones. I really, really love these brushes. I love them both. I will say that this pencil brush is a real standout for me. So this one right here, this is the Builder Pro. And I actually use this brush, I use both of these brushes today, but I use this one to sort of pack on this shimmer right here. So it's really nice to kind of pack on either shimmers or mattes and, you know, really kind of build them up, hence the name Builder Pro. But I mean, it's a beautiful brush, and they're both so soft. And if you want to splurge, if you want to really have a luxurious experience putting on your eyeshadow, it's not something that you need. Of course not, but they're really nice. And I really have been enjoying this one. And now this one, this is the softest pencil brush I've ever used. It's so soft and it has a really nice point to it, but it has still some body to it. So if you want a like really tiny pencil brush, then this isn't the one, although she has other pencil brushes. This one's called the Pencil Pro. And I really love it for buffing out on the lower lash line. I just think that it works so well. It picks up a nice amount of product, but it distributes the product really nicely and it blends it out and it's super soft so you're not scratching your lower lash line. I can't say enough good things about these brushes. Again, it's not something that you need. They are a splurge, but if you wanted to splurge or if you wanted to get them as a gift or something, I mean, I think you can't go wrong with these brushes. I definitely want to get more at some point. Then I have a bunch of lip products to talk about. I've definitely been on a lip product kick lately, and a big part of that, I've mentioned this before, but just in case you're new, is that I used to be all about the liquid lipsticks, all about matte lips, and I have completely done a 180. I now love creamy moisturizing lipsticks. That has been my thing. I find that it is much more comfortable, and I always knew that it was much more comfortable, but I've kind of just, you know, I've gotten to that point in my life where I'm like, what is the point? Why am I wearing something that is so uncomfortable? You know, it's not that I won't wear liquid lipsticks anymore. I'm just a little bit pickier about my formulas, and I'm pickier about when I'm using them. So, you know, it has to be for either a specific color that I want to wear, or I just want it to last a certain way. Then I'll go for a liquid lipstick, but otherwise I'm not really doing that on a daily basis. And I also feel like I have never had super smooth lips. I have a lot of lines in my lips. That certainly has come with age, but it's also just kind of always how my lips have been, I feel like. And moisturizing creamy lipsticks just look so much more flattering on my lips. It just looks better, and I can hide those lines a lot more. I just have been really enjoying that. And yes, I've been enjoying glosses, but for the most part, I've been all about like the creamy lipsticks, and not even like the matte bullet lipsticks, but creamy lipsticks. And on a daily basis, I've been wearing a lot of tinted balms. So we're gonna talk about a bunch of those today. But let's start out with actually a liquid lipstick. And now this one, it is a liquid lipstick, but not a matte liquid lipstick. And this is a really interesting formula. I got sent these by Influenster, complimentary, which was so exciting. It's always exciting to get something from them, but it's even more exciting when it's something that I would never have thought to buy because it's a liquid lipstick, but I really have come to enjoy, and I'm so thrilled that I got a chance to try them and that I have them because they're really nice. So these are their Rouge lip colors. I don't remember the exact name for it. I can link them down below. They have tons of different shades. I have 3 of them that I got sent by Influenster. So this red one is the shade I Am Worth It. And then there's sort of like a more mauvey shade that is called I Rule. And then this more like kind of peachy nude is called I Create. And I love all of these shades. I think that the shades are great. What's great about these is that they're almost like a mixture between a lip stain and a satin liquid lipstick, kind of. I don't really know how to explain that any better than I just did. But basically you put these on and they're very opaque, but they're really watery. So you kind of have to like make your way and you know, around your lip line and put it on. They have a really nice applicator. It's a really nice like pointed applicator, and it sort of has like a dip like that. So it makes it really easy to apply. But it goes on and then it does dry down. It's not transfer proof, but it really stays put, and it feels like it's dried down, but you know, it doesn't feel super dry. It just feels very lightweight on your lips, and it looks pretty flattering for being a liquid lipstick. But then it really does stay put, and it stains your lips a little bit too. I especially noticed this with the red, but even with these a little bit too. I don't need that as much with these colors, but with the red, it definitely leaves that stain, but not in an unflattering way. I think if you're somebody who, like me, is not really into the liquid lipsticks anymore, or if you've never been into them and you're like, I can't do liquid lipsticks, this is a great option for any color, honestly. But if you want something that's gonna be really long wearing, but that's not going to be super drying and feel uncomfortable and look really unflattering on your lips, I think this is a great option. I'm so thrilled that I got to try it because I never would have thought to buy this, and I really like it. Then I have one just sort of basic cream lipstick. This is by Milk Makeup, and I actually have a couple other things to talk about for Milk that I've been enjoying, but this is their cream lipstick. Like, that's the name of it, is cream. And they have tons of different shades of these, and they just reformulated these lipsticks. And some people are happy about it, some people are not. I don't know, I didn't try them originally, but the packaging is really beautiful. It's a very nice, like, weighted kind of white, and it has, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I think you can, because it's kind of washed out. But it has the milk right there, and then it says the name of it right there. And it's just a really pretty shade. It's a really pretty creamy lipstick. But what was interesting about this to me that felt very different from a lot of other lipsticks is that this is a very thin, comfortable formula. So if you don't like lipsticks that have kind of feel thick on your lips, this is a good one to try. I can't speak to the other shades, of course. I only have this one, but it just feels so thin on the lips and it glides on. It is super creamy, but it doesn't feel like super, you know, goopy on the lips or anything like that. It doesn't feel like super glossy either. You kind of put it on and then it sort of, it feels pretty weightless. But I think if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy the feeling of a thick lipstick on your lips, whether it's, you know, whatever formula it is, I think you might want to try this because it feels so thin on the lips and it just glides on. Really, really nice formula. And actually, before I get on with the other lip products, let me just talk about the other two things that I have from Milk. So I have two of their cream products, and they are big about these type of products, especially in these little, this type of packaging, almost like a deodorant type of packaging. It's really cool though. And I've been getting a little bit more into cream products because on a daily basis, I've been doing that. I filmed a video about my kind of go-to day-to-day run around with my daughter type of makeup. I can link that up above if you missed that video. But I talked about how I've been trying out some new cream products because day to day, it's been nice to use them because they look so natural and pretty on the skin. And these are great for Milk. So this is their bronzer that I had heard tons of things about. This is the baked bronzer. They do have another shade, I believe. And I don't actually put it on right from the stick. I know a lot of people do. I prefer to take kind of a buffing foundation brush, like a rounded foundation brush, and sort of swirl it on there and then buff it into my skin lightly, just so that I don't disturb too much of what's going on underneath it. But I love the tone of this. I find it to be pretty comparable to my Soleil Tan de Chanel from Chanel that I really, really love. This is a very similar shade. The formula is maybe a little bit different. I feel like the Chanel is a little bit more like cream to powder, whereas this one, it doesn't necessarily feel like tacky after you apply it, but I wouldn't say that it's like a cream to powder. But I've really been enjoying this. It's a beautiful formula and a beautiful shade if you're looking to try a cream bronzer. And then this blush I really, really like. And they do sell this shade. It's called Work, but W-E-R-K. They do have this shade in a mini if you wanted to try it. That's a nice way to go. But it's just a really pretty kind of rosy, very natural type of shade. Really, really stunning. And they have other shades of this blush as well. This is called a lip and cheek tint. I don't know. Is it a tint or a balm or whatever it is, but it says lip and cheek. So you could put this on your lips. I've never done that, but you could. And I just think that these work really nice. I like to do the same thing with this one. I don't put it directly on the skin. I use my brush and kind of swirl it in. Just the same brush I would use on the bronzer. And pop, you know, kind of press it into the skin, maybe buff in a little bit. But I really like the way that this looks. I've been enjoying that a lot. And I actually have one more face product, and then I have a bunch of lip products. So why don't I just go ahead and talk about the one more face product that I have. And that's the blush from Benefit called California. I haven't gotten a blush from Benefit in a long time, and I haven't gotten a lot in general from Benefit in a long time. And I'll admit that they don't do a whole lot for me. They come out with a lot that just feels like the same again and again and again. I talked about them in my video about brands that excite me and that don't excite me. I can link that up above if you want to see, but spoiler alert, I talked about Benefit as being a brand that doesn't excite me, and that is typically true. I feel like a lot of times they come out with things and I'm just like, yeah, okay. And sometimes they come out with shades that I'm interested in, but they only sell them in these palettes that come with other shades that I already have, and I don't like that. And I've heard that the formula in some of their palettes is not the same. So that's kind of, anyway, I'm getting kind of off topic. The point is, I am so head over heels in love with this blush. I can't even tell you. I haven't wanted to buy this blush for a long time, partly because I don't use my Benefit blushes in general a whole lot. I even depotted them because the packaging kind of annoys me. It still annoys me with this one. Yes, it's pretty, but it's so bulky, you know? And so when this one came out, it looked really pretty, but I just like didn't want to add another box blush to my collection. I don't want to depot another one because I depot them and then I don't use them as much because they're in a palette and I never think to pull out that palette. But I kept hearing Tara Babies talk about this blush and like I had seen how much she used it. It looked beautiful on her. I even went in and swatched it one time and I just thought it was so beautiful. Let me show you what it looks like. It actually has a little bit of like an overspray when you first get it, but that comes off almost immediately. But it's just such a beautiful corally blush. And I don't even think you can get the full effect looking at it here. I mean, maybe if I swatch it. It just is so gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous shade. And I mean, I swatched it and I thought it looked beautiful and I still didn't want to buy it. I didn't want to buy it. And then I finally I caved, I guess. And I have had to force myself not to use this on a daily basis because I just love the way that it looks. It is so beautiful. The formula is beautiful because it's not like a powder like a lot of their box blushes are. It is more of like a baked gelée formula. And so you really have to kind of swirl your brush and pick up the product. But oh, it just is a gorgeous color. It looks beautiful on the skin. Honestly, I've had to force myself to use other things because whether they're in my Project Pan or my Throwback Thursday or just using something else, I just want to use this every single day. It's so beautiful and I'm so glad that I finally got it because I just love it. And it has not left my everyday bin. I put it in when I first got it because I wanted to remind myself to use it and it hasn't moved because I want to keep using it every day. All right, so now I have a bunch of these moisturizing balmy lipsticks to talk about. I've just been loving tinted balms so much. I have a couple that are from the drugstore and then I have some more expensive options. So let's talk about the drugstore ones first. I have two of them and they are both beautiful. These are the Physicians Formula Muru Butter lipsticks. I don't know. They actually have SPF 15, which I think is really nice. This one is in the shade Soaking Up the Sun. This one is Guava Mama, which is cute. I love these. Now, the one thing that I will say is that you have to be careful with these because if you can see there, they are so creamy and so buttery that they can melt on you and really mush on you. So when you're applying these, you have to be really careful not to press too hard. You can see that's that shade there. Just a good basic nude. So shiny and so like really pigmented, but so glossy. This one here is just a great shade for spring and summer. So pretty. I'm definitely tempted to get more of these. They definitely have a little bit of an artificial scent and kind of flavor to them. It doesn't bother me too much, but it's not like I'm not in love with that part of it, you know. But these are so nice. They look so beautiful on the lips. You know, you can definitely get a deal, you know, at the drugstore or whatever when you buy these. But the thing that I really like about this and that I didn't notice until I tried wearing them is that they leave a little bit of a stain. And I think that's really cool, especially with a shade like this that's kind of bright. You want it to fade somewhat gracefully and it really does. I just really love these. This one usually stays in my purse and I'm gonna put it back in my purse after I'm done doing this video. But really can't recommend these enough. They're really nice. Then I have one from Pat McGrath, and this was the first thing that I ever tried from Pat McGrath, and I'm thrilled with it. This is one of her Lip Fetish Sheer Color Balms, and this one is in the shade Wild Cherry. So you'll see it is much more sheer than it appears in the bullet, but this is just a beautiful tinted balm. It doesn't have any scent to it, and they have ones that are even lighter, but I just felt like this was a really nice shade. And it just adds a lot of life to your face. You can kind of build it up a little bit more, even though it goes on sheer when you put it on first. You can kind of go over your lips a little bit and it build up the color. And it just adds a nice bit of life to your face and very moisturizing, really nice. And then my favorite of the tinted balms is the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash. I have two shades of them because I got one and I loved it so much. I got another one. This is a newer formula that basically replaced the Rouge Coco Shine, which I also really loved. I have one that I have had for a while. This one you can't get anymore, but you can see how they changed the packaging, which is really nice, because with these, the new ones, you can see the color through the top, which is so nice. But otherwise, the packaging is very similar. But I really love this new formula. The first one that I got is in the shade 60 Beat, and it's such a beautiful, fun color and adds a real nice amount of color considering it is so balmy and moisturizing and gorgeous. Oh, I love that shade. It's just a nice color for spring and summer. So, so pretty. And then I got the shade Boy, which is an iconic shade for Chanel. It's the number 54. And this one I just figured would be a great everyday shade. It's just a nice nude color. And it's a little bit more sheer than the other one. Depending on what shade you get, they can be a little more intense or a little more sheer. But they're so nice. They feel great on the lips. No, they're not super long wearing. They're not meant to be, but they just feel really nice on the lips. They add a nice, just a light bit of color. And I've been loving this type of formula, and these are my favorite from Chanel. All right, everyone, so that is it for this edition of Beauty Blab. Let me know in the comments below what you've been enjoying lately. I would love to hear it. I am sure the next one that I do will have a lot of things from the Sephora sale, because I needed to film one of these, because I'm sure this is gonna be long too, because they usually are. But I knew that the list was gonna get longer as soon as I started trying some things from the sales. I hope you enjoyed this Beauty Blab, and I will see you for the next one, whenever that may be. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time.